The purpose of this exercise is to help you make a living map of your youth work system. It can give you a deeper understanding of interrelations and what's going on in your system, as well to get a better understanding of your role in the system, the role that you currently play, or maybe the role that you're invited to play in the future. Technically, in order to do that, you will need a room. It can be your room, it can be your office or place where you can have a more or less free space of 2 meters times 2 meters. You can mark it with either a masking tape or a chalk, or you can use an empty carpet. That can also be an option. So this rectangular space will represent your youth work system. So whatever you consider it. It could be your local youth work system, your national youth work system, so your youth work system with boundaries that it has marked with this rectangular space. In this system there will be elements in it, including yourself or your youth organization and many other elements that you know best actually who are the elements are. In order to map them, you will need cups like that. It doesn't have to be exactly like this one, but it is important that they have this holder which is pointing the direction of each element in the system. So you will need at least 8 cups like this, and one of the cups will represent you or your organization. Another 6 cups max would represent the key elements in your system. For example, that could be your municipality, that could be young people, that could be Ministry for Youth, that could be National Youth Council, that could be companies. So whomever you consider are the key elements of your youth work system. And just be sure that you leave 1 cup free for some unexpected elements that might come in the process. So roughly you may have to make a list of maximum 7 elements, including yourself or your youth organization. Apart from technical things, for the mapping, you will also need to prepare yourself a little bit and your inner attitude, because the mapping is not a role play. So we are not asking you to act or to role play these elements in your system. So it's also not about what you think about them. So what you think about these other elements, other groups, other institutions, other organizations in your system. It's just about finding their place in the system as it is. It is like as if you would plug in yourself to the floor and sense the position of each element in your system, without intention to help, without intention to make it better, without intention to change it, just the way it is. To remind you, the purpose of the living map is to get a deeper understanding of what's going on in your youth work system and what the role you play. In order to do that, you will use the cups to represent the position, and you will use also yourself as an instrument to find exactly where each of the elements is in the system at the moment. So in order to do that, you will need to choose what are the key elements in your youth work system that you want to represent in the map. For example, those could be organizations, those could be groups, but can also be concepts like human rights, for example, or youth work. So in my case, I will choose 1 cup for me. So 1 cup to represent myself. The 2nd cup to represent young people. The 3rd cup to represent NGOs. The 4th would be umbrella organizations. The 5th would be Ministry for Youth. Sixth is Erasmus Plus program. 7th would be future generation of young people. So not young people who are at the moment young people, but the ones who will be young people in the future. So future generation. And I will leave one cup free in case some new elements appear in the system and during the process, so we need another cup to represent something like that. So the process goes that actually you enter the field, this rectangular space, and sense where each single element is positioned, where actually it is at the moment. So without intention to change it, without intention to make it different, make it better. And it's not about what you think or where they should be, but really where this element is. The mapping starts with finding the place of yourself in the system. So you enter the field and you can walk a little bit in the field and sense where exactly is your place in your youth work system. Is it more in the corner? Is it in the middle? Just don't think, really sense where this place is. When you find a place, you may sense how it is in this place. What's happening there? Any feelings, any thoughts, any messages coming from this position. Then you leave the cup instead of you with the same direction like you've been standing. Then you leave the field for a moment. You may shake a little bit. And then find a place for the second element in the system, which for me is young people. So you enter the field and sense where is the place of young people in your youth work system. So it's not what you think, where they are or where they should be, but really where they are. Where are young people in your youth work system? And when you find a place, you can leave the cup. You can sense how it is in this place. And how do you relate to other elements in this system? What are the feelings? What are the thoughts? What are the impulses? How is it in this place for young people? And is there anything changed for the elements who've been in the system before when you enter? For example, in my case, when young people enter, it feels like that Darko's cup has moved a bit to the direction to young people. So you can correct that, for example, like this. You can leave the system for a moment and do it for the next element, which in my case are NGOs. So you enter the system looking for the place for NGOs in your youth work system, actually in this case in my youth work system. So where are the NGOs? What's their place as it is at the moment? Sense that place and feel how it feels. to be there? What are the feelings? What are the messages? What's the direction? Are they looking at young people? Are they looking at me? Or so where are the NGOs? When you sense this third element, you can also put their place. But you can also sense what's changing in the system where NGOs enter the system. Is there anything that changes with previous elements? And in this case, young people turn a little bit like this. When you're done with the third element, you go out of your system. And then you see what is the fourth element to represent. So when you're done with the initial mapping, maybe you can visit in the end the place of your representative once again, and to sense how it is in the map right now, like in the end of this mapping. And take in from there all the insights, messages, sense how it is in relation to other elements. See where your attention goes. And maybe you can sense your future direction. What are you doing for this system? What is your role here? Okay. So when the initial mapping is done, you're invited to zoom out a bit and to see the whole picture. In order to do that, you may stand outside of the field, but far enough so you can see the whole picture. You can also sit if you feel more like sitting, but the important thing is that you can see the whole picture and see some additional insights. After the initial mapping is done, you can take a step back out of the field so you can see the whole map. And you can also wonder, is there any element missing here? Something important or somebody important that has been forgotten or perhaps unseen, but plays an important role. And if yes, you can add one more cup to the picture to complete the picture. And in my case, it feels like the element is missing is the concept of youth work. Youth work 2.0. You can enter the field again and sense where is this missing element position, where is its place. It seems that this youth work 2.0, this future youth work in development, is somewhere close to this future generation. It's here. Shoulder to shoulder to this future generation. You can sense what is happening with other elements when this new element came in. Looks like Erasmus Plus program is changing a bit direction, a little bit. The ministry moves here. Move a little bit here. Juice. So for the end, you can step into your position again and sense how it is now. What's the role of yourself now for the system? And what are you invited to play, to be in the future? Now sit back, far enough to see the whole picture, and zoom out. And without judgment, without intention to change anything, just with fresh, new eyes, see the whole picture of this system. What's the big story that wants to be told here? What wants to happen here? How do you see interconnections? Who is there for whom? Who is strengthening what? Who is weakening what? Then look at yourself in this system. What do you do for this system at the moment? What is your function? How would you call it? Now zoom up, zoom out even more and try to sense what the system invites you to learn here. What does the system needs from you? What does the system invite you to be in the future? What could be your new or different function in the system? If you have a sense on that, you may step in one more time in the system and sense that new role, this new position in the system. And just to check, before we close the exercise here, just to check how it is from there. And what can you harvest from this new position? From this new position, you sense how it is. What do you contribute to the system from here? And if there's any sentence coming from this position, say it or remember it.